It's currently July 7th, and I wanted to make a short video vlog before I head to sleep. I've been sleeping very late these past few days. Just been thinking a lot while laying on bed. I think that's been quite normal behavior for the long time. Standard behavior, but definitely not normal. I think I've always wanted to sleep a little earlier, get up earlier. Um, but I do try to attain that. In fact, it's before, well, it's 11 p.m. right now, and the plan is to wake up early, to get to the gym early in the morning, and then do schoolwork. I have a class at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Um, and the usual, plan on taking care of Daisy. As for taking care of myself, usually it's just the gym, getting all of that energy worked out. But also, I see the gym as building upon something that's positive, that's beneficial for me into the future. And I like to do more of that, to do things that will build myself up, make myself a more competent person. And speaking of which, there's a book I'm reading right now called How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I must say, it's quite insightful. I've kind of noticed some of what Mr. Carnegie wrote about over the years, how paying attention to other people is one of the most useful skills anybody can have. And it's something that's not taught in a formal education. I'm gonna definitely try to apply that knowledge. And as the saying goes, wisdom is knowledge applied. And also, experience is hard earned knowledge. But it only becomes wisdom when it's learned from and when old mistakes aren't repeated again. Speaking of which, sometimes I lay awake at night and replay memories of things that I've done wrong, um, of which there are plenty. There's there's been this category of thought that I've been turning over in my head a lot, in the wake of a breakup. It's hard. It's definitely difficult to try and understand something when I can't ask the other person anymore because they aren't in my life. And not only that, but I have asked in the past and they haven't given any sort of answers. Perhaps closure comes from within, and I think regret is too heavy a burden to live with. And I definitely think that I've done, I would say 90% of what I could have done and what I intended to do with good intention that I did. But it just never seems to be enough for myself. I always want to do more. I guess I'm an impatient person, and I don't like feeling this way, feeling like I failed. It's been a very difficult few months, and I do know that I have to learn, continue learning the lessons that this pain is trying to teach me, and to move forward and to not repeat the same mistakes. I'm going to be a better listener and control, or yes, control, but also be more cognizant, conscious of um, those feelings of anger that washes over me when I perceive injustice. But of course, that's my perception of justice is also subjective. So I have to be mindful of that. And there's another saying that oftentimes it's not what I say, but how I say it. And that perception is often reality. Just to expand on that a little bit, I may have good intentions, but if the other person perceives my good intention um, as being harsh, then that's their reality. And it's important to consider that as well, because to be an effective communicator, it's often not about what I'm thinking, but understanding what the other person is thinking and trying to get to their level. And the only way that happens is by understanding what they're thinking, how they're feeling, so on and so forth. And so I think one of the most valuable lessons of I am learning through books, practical, it's practical everyday acts, but also through the breakup is that I know I can be a better listener, and I'm gonna try my best. All right, that's it for today.